We are going to configure the products that you sell by defining a service definition for each one. The first step is to click the Billing Administration menu. Here, under the product definitions, you have multiple choices. In this tutorial, we are going to focus on recurring service. Bundles and packages are described in a separate tutorial. Click on Recurring Service. An indexed list of all recurring services will appear. Click the menu option New from the Actions menu to begin. An empty screen will come up for you to fill in. There are many fields here for flexibility, but not many are required. The required fields are highlighted. Many others already have defaults set for you. I'm going to show you a service definition that I have already created. The name is for internal use and will be seen in the drop-down displays of services. The billing display will appear on the bill to the customer. A service definition can be available to all virtual companies or to one that you choose to offer this product. Account class is used to filter entries so that a CSR has less items to choose from. This service is available for residential customers only. The account class is set on the account profile. Technology is another way to filter entries. This service is for wireless. The technology is set on the user. Features manages what can be seen and updated by the customer on the BillMax customer portal. The sort order is the order that the services will appear in the drop-down list of services. If you leave the sort order as 0, the order will remain in the order that the services are created. A service can be available, no new users, or discontinued. Discontinued is for products that are no longer have any customers at all. A service has a start date and an end date. You can enter a start date in the future if the product is not yet offered. The end date is only set if the product will no longer be offered. The initial state for a new service can be defaulted to open, prospective, or wait for payment. Open means that the account is ready to be billed and provisioning for the service is set. Services are not ready to be billed or provisioned. For example, a site survey may be required. Wait for payment is used when a service has been provisioned, but a payment has been received and the account balance is positive. The state of a service will automatically be changed from wait for payment to open when a payment is received. The initial service reason is the default for this service and should depend on which initial state you chose above. The reason is necessary for prospective services. Provision using Service Hook defaults to yes. It can be set to no for services where provisioning through BillMax will never occur. A subordinate service is attached to another service offering. For example, a modem maintenance plan might not be offered as a service to the customer directly, but only if they are buying a modem from you. The subordinate service is billed when the parent service is billed. The default for apply offset days is yes. If for some reason you want to ignore the settings on the bill timing tab for this service and bill on the service next bill date, then set this to no. If this service is available in a package only, the setting should be yes. The default is no. Warning expiration days is the setting for how many days before the end date of a service an email warning will be automatically sent. The email will ask if the customer wants to renew to please contact your company by phone or email. The verbiage of the email can be viewed under Email Template. The referral amount is the amount of store credit generated to the account that refers the new service. The referral wait is the number of days a service is open before the store credit is generated. For these settings to have an effect, the account referring the new service must be entered on the General tab of the service created. Moving on to pricing. Pricing has many options. Charge type is a drop-down list of sales types. You can add your own types by modifying the charge types list. Reports can be generated based on charge type, so you will know how your company is making money. Charge types can also be QuickBooks income accounts, so that the money will flow to the correct place via the IIF file. There are 3 billing models: recurring, in-date computed, and other. Recurring is the most common. You want to bill your customer for this service from now until they cancel for some reason. In-date computed is used when you are billing for only a certain period of time. For example, maybe you break out the installation over 4 months. In this example, the first month the service is billed at $25 and then $44.99 for every month after that. Other opens up repetitive billing options. Bill One Cycle does exactly that. If any of the amounts are filled in, then they will be billed for 1 cycle and then billing will stop. If the cycle is set to repeat last duration, then BillMax will bill the last price it finds in the settings for the first, second, and third price. For example, if you offer a promotion, you can fill in the first price for the number of durations you wish, and then the second price would be charged from then on. Repeat cycle can be used to bill any pricing cycle over and over. If you offered a product for your customers where if they prepay 6 months and then they get a month free, the first price would be the 6 months price and the second price would be 0 for 1 month. Then BillMax can bill this cycle repeatedly. BillMax allows you to enter setup charges here and charge for equipment deposit if needed. An early termination fee will be charged if entered here, if the service is ended before the contract end date that is set when the service is created. The overdue pricing fields are used when an additional fee is desired for a service if it becomes overdue. A charge for disconnecting or reconnecting service, for example. Here, enter the amount, the label that will appear on the bill, and whether the fee should be taxable. The prorating box has to do with whether you want services to be synchronized to the same billing date for a customer or the same date for all customers. A service is synchronized when, upon creation, the day of the invoice date was forced to be the same as the account billing date, and a prorated amount was billed, if necessary, for a new service or account. If bill unprorated term is yes, then when a service is created, charges will be created for the prorated term and the full term up front. If you need to give automated credit for this service, these are the several settings for you. Billing display modifiers helps you make modifications to how and where the service is displayed on the bill. Invoice display group is a list under configure list. You can group your items on the bill by this group. Items are grouped on the bill by PO number first, then tax group, and then invoice display group. If no grouping is desired, leave this setting at none. Bill detail is a way to create a table that will be displayed on each customer's bill for this service. In this example, we have a special assessment of $2 that will appear on the bill for this service. The dollar amount will not affect the total and is for display only. Usage billing in BillMax is offered in two types, metered and tiered pricing. Tax information is set here. The tax rule can either be not applicable or a rule that applies for this type of service. The tax class is set to sales, VoIP, or phone. This tax class is combined with the tax region set on the user to compute the taxes on the bill. The FCC classification box contains the information about this service that is necessary for BillMax to create the 477. The customer portal settings allow this service to be offered in the customer portal. The change class is to allow service changes across the same type of service for a customer. If there are any fees that should be charged in relation to this service, they must first be added as a recurring service fee and then added to the service here. Moving on to provisioning. A general explanation of provisioning with BillMax is found in the BillMax user manual under provisioning. Read it for background information. On the Provisioning Information tab, we begin with POP regions. POP regions are defined from the System Administration menu. Does this service require attachment to a POP region? The default is no. If you have created resources for provisioning purposes, the list of resources will appear here, and you can select one or more. Provisioning variable conflict can be set to OK within a user to allow a user to have multiple services and to use the same login name for all of them. Always OK is used only if you do not care that the login names could all be the same. The next settings have to do with how you want to handle the login name and password of a service. There are also 10 additional fields that help in provisioning. They are stored in the ServDef database table. Each field has many flags. These flags are referred to the D field name in the service hook and by the label in the interface. The third tab is Additional Usage Billing. This tab is currently used to designate the VoIP plan that would be attached to a VoIP service. The fourth tab allows you to schedule and review a list of price changes to this service. The final tab is the standard notes tab that is similar to other notes tabs throughout the items of BillMax system. You can add notes for this service or see what system notes are listed of historical changes. That is the basic information for a service definition. Call if you have any questions.